9. Kid, become my student. Behind the training ground was the main building of the academy. On the second floor was the first aid room, and Baek Jong-myung, the apprentice of the Baek Jong-woo, was here. He had just gotten into the office from the orders of his teacher last night. He was excited to see as many patients as possible within the academy to gain more experience. Doctor, patients. Already? Come in. He had not seen that many patients recently, since all the giant Murim forces were busy training their former warriors and they were in times of peace. This academy is great. He was eager at the thought of seeing many patients. As the door opened, 2 academy staff came in with the patient. It was Chun Yeowun, who was drenched in blood. What? What kind of test puts a man in such a state? This much blood could only come from fatal sword injuries. The staff members shook their heads and answered, "He has taken serious internal damage. He does not have any internal energy, so Left Guardian has asked for you to take special care of him." This is from internal damage? It had been 10 years since he was the apprentice of the famous doctor of the demonic cult. He had seen many patients, but he had never seen that much blood from a patient with internal injuries. Well, he's all yours now. We'll be on our way. Oh, okay. The staff knew that they had things to do and that they were needed, so they quickly came out of the room. However, one of the staff members stopped curiously. Another staff, who was his superior, scolded him on the spot. "We're busy. Come on." It's nothing. He felt that Chun Yeowun looked much better when he put him down on the bed, but he shook his thoughts away. After the staff was gone, Jong-myung sat next to Yeowun and began checking on him. Yeowun then opened his eyes slightly and looked at Jong-myung. It felt so painful when he was at the training ground, but the self-healing had healed him enough to allow him to get back up. I didn't think of this. He realized this as he was being carried up to the medical room, so he ordered Nano to stop healing him. He just focused on healing his painful throat and neck and decided to let everything stay as is until the doctor worked on him. Irregular and fast heartbeat. He must have taken a huge amount of internal damage. Jong-myung made the conclusion after checking Yeowun. However, it was still weird to have let out so much blood. Not even biting a tongue can do this. Jong-myung then walked over to his desk to get some needles when someone burst into his office. Sound of door slamming open. Oh my. Jong was shocked that he fell to the ground on his butt. He turned to the man who had walked in. It was a middle-aged man with a red nose and a bottle of liquor. "Right, Guardian? Why are you here? And why are you here? I thought you should be at the ceremony." "Ha! So are you the doctor of the academy this time?" Submeng didn't respond to Jong-myung and just kept asking his own questions. Jong-myung sighed as he knew Submeng was this kind of man. A little one came to the big league then, eh? Ugh. So why are you here? I hope it isn't you who got hurt. Oh, is that sarcasm? Ha-ha, of course not. Submeng then looked away from Jong-myung and turned to the bed. He then smiled with interest. Oh, look at this brat. Interesting kid. What's going on? Submeng then walked up to Chun Yeowun, who was on the bed. Yeowun became frustrated. What? Why is he here all of a sudden? He felt panicked that the Right Guardian himself had come up to the office, thinking that he might have noticed that he was acting all along. Damn it! The terrible stench of alcohol and breath bothered him. Why are you pretending to be asleep? Yeowun felt his heart sink and flinched. Then an unknown force pulled him up from the bed. He couldn't move as he hadn't been healed yet, but the internal energy sent by Submeng pinned him straight up. If you keep pretending, I'll smack you. Yeowun had to wake up. He then saw the drunk man who had been on the stage. Yeowun frowned and retorted, How did you know? Aren't you an interesting one? Submeng laughed for quite a bit and continued, Any experienced warrior can see through you if you are awake or not just by listening to your breath, kid. By the sound of my breathing? Yeowun became shocked, and Nano spoke to him. The average breathing count for a 15 to 20-year-old human male is about 16 per minute. Your breathing just now was about 8 times in 1 minute, showing your effort to hide your nervous state. I don't need an explanation. Yeowun never imagined a mere person could sense such things. I didn't think kids these days had guts like you. Huh? He thought Submeng was here because he noticed Yeowun faked his damage, but it seems like that wasn't the case. Instead, he seemed to be pleased. Kids these days have no endurance. They always pick the easy way. Yeowun felt bad. He didn't endure anything at all. He just stood there because Nano had cut off all the sound. So, what I mean is that you have the guts that no other kid has these days. Yeowun didn't feel comfortable listening to all the compliments that he didn't deserve. He was going to heal himself after fooling Jongmyoung, but listening to all this made him feel his pain again. His face began to go pale. Guardian, our patient is not in good condition. Wait, an adult is talking right now. Since Yeowun is not completely healed and Submeng made him sit using his internal energy, Wun started vomiting blood again. See. Ah, yes. Submeng then noticed the discoloration on Yeowun's face. He then let go of his internal energy and allowed Yeowun to lie down on the bed again. Let me cut to the chase, kid. I'll take you in as my apprentice. Yeowun's eyes grew wide, and so did Jongmyoung's. Submeng the Crazy Blade was one of the top 10 most powerful warriors in the demonic cult. He was also famous throughout all of Murim. What are you talking about? Yeowun wasn't convinced, as he had lived a lifetime in banishment and danger. Yet Submeng looked very serious, if not considering the smell of alcohol. I am talking about taking you in as my student. Guardian, do you not know who I am? Everyone knew about Yeowun in the cult. Is there someone who doesn't know about you? The 6 clans will not be happy if you take me in. Ha! What will those women do? With or without you, they have to compete against themselves anyway. Unlike Hwamung, Submeng always did what he wanted. The one he feared and followed was the lord of the cult. Yeowun became tempted by the offer. But what if this is a trap? Yeowun had gone through too many threats, so he was suspicious. Jongmyoung, who was looking at him from the side, also became interested. So, this is the famous prince. He then made a conclusion about Yeowun's internal energy, so that's why they went too far then. He couldn't understand the reason for the amount of blood at first, but if the 6 clans involved in this, it didn't seem all that impossible. And Baek Jongmyoung's conclusion was fortunate for Yeowun. I don't know what to say to that offer, especially since I'll have a teacher in the academy. This sounds like I'm begging you to be my apprentice. Submeng then chugged his bottle. He's still not convinced. He had never taken any apprentices until now, but seeing Yeowun enduring the sound energy tempted him to take Yeowun as his apprentice. Yet, Yeowun didn't seem so eager. Okay, if you are still unconvinced, I will offer you something you can't put down. He then took out some wrinkled old paper and placed it down on the bed. However, Yeowun couldn't move, so he couldn't check what it was. Heh, are you curious about what this is? What is it? It is what you need most if you are to survive here. You took internal damage on your first day at the academy. Don't you think you will be left behind?